Good morning, Nigerians. You're welcome to News Nexus on Ask TV. I remain yours, Maina, Joda, and today we'll be tackling the pressing issues of the surge in petroleum prices, and we'll also be looking at the recent hike that has sparked intense debate with fingers pointing at the government, NNPC Limited, Dangote Refineries, and IPMAN, IPMAN. These are the key players in the whole scenario. And if you look at government, the government's economic policies, particularly forex management, significantly influence PMS pricing. And the management of the forest, their policies of subsidy removal, and other issues around the way the whole process is being handled makes the government, even though they say the sector has been deregulated, but we still see signs of government control of prices, and there is no transparency in actually what is going on in the industry. And for NNPCL, who should be the primary regulator, it seems they've been determining the wholesale price of PMS, even though they've been saying that is not the case, that they are just a player in the industry like every other one. But the previous policy of them being the only off-takers from Dangote Refinery makes them those who determine the price, and other players in the industry are saying NNPCL shouldn't be the only person who will take fuel directly from Dangote refineries. And last week, we got information from the government which said now everybody can go to Dangote and purchase directly from them. And for Dangote refineries, is the newest refining giant, has commenced productions but faces challenges in obtaining adequate crude oil supply for NNPC. It has been coming out with different reasons or the others why they can't meet up the supply and why the price is like that. And I think Nigeria stood for them when they said they were not getting crude from NNPCL. And I think now, in the month of October, a resolution has been reached, and Dangote refineries, from information available, have been supplied crude by NNPCL through the Crude for Naira initiative. So now we will expect from Dangote itself to be transparent in the pricing and to be transparent in the process, so that Nigerians can actually know if selling crude to him in Naira will reduce the price, or we will still remain, will still be held on to market forces, as they say. So those are some of the issues that we'll discuss today. And we also have the Independent Petroleum Market Association of Nigeria. They've been there coming up with a lot of complaints concerning the way NNPC is handling the whole issue, the way government is handling it. And just 2 days ago, they came up with when the prices of the fuel went up, or PMS went up, they were of the opinion that their money is with NNPCL based on previous arrangements. And now NNPCL have jacked up the prices, and they're selling to them higher than what they're selling at their fuel stations. So these are issues that we should look into today, and we are going to look into them. And there are also a lot of challenges concerning forest liquidity, delayed commencement, dispute over PMS pricing, and every other thing. And so join us as we delve deeper into the complexities surrounding the PMS price hikes and other issues. We are not going to limit it to just this topic. We allow the discussion drive us into other sectors of the Nigerian economy and policies generally. And I'm not going to be here alone. With me in the studio is an economist who works with Industrial Arbitration Panel, Northeast Zonal Office, Jalingo. He's currently a PhD student in economics with the Department of Economics, Taraba State University, Jalingo. He is married and is from Takun local government in Taraba State. With me in the studio is Mr. Tami Nugado. Good morning, sir.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome, sir.
It's your honor. Thank you for this opportunity that we should also add people like us to add our voice to the current challenge that is facing Nigerian state. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And joining us virtually is a seasoned chartered banker, a financial, economic, and political and policy analyst who was contested for the Federal House of Representatives. His name is Mr. Kali Odomena. Mr. Kali, good morning.
Thank you, my brother, Mr. Abraham, for inviting me. My pleasure.
It's a pleasure. You are welcome, Mr. Kali. From the look of things, you don't look like someone that fuel is having any effect on. And same thing with Mr. Tamini here. I believe if the president look at your faces, he will be like, well, Nigerians are doing well. Am I wrong or right?
You know, in my place, they say an insect go they dry. They say they produce oil.
Okay. Oh, it produces oil. How come it's not producing oil on my own part? Mr. Tamini,
Nigerians are in pains. We're in pains.
You see, the issue is that there are some situations that is beyond you. So you have to comfort yourself and be happy, no matter what happens.
That is my exactly.
It is and forge ahead and see how the economy will turn around at the end of the day.
So the general consensus is that the madam has been doing well, has been taking care of us despite all the economic issues.
We thank God.
I think that should be proper to the women at home who have been able to manage. Yeah. So let us get down to the issues at hand. And I would like to start with Mr. Kali. I'd like to start with Mr. Kali. Some days ago, we had a discussion over the pricing of PMS. And you are of the opinion that with the recent Naira arrangement, the price should be somewhere around 500 Naira. And that was what made me say, well, let me bring you on air, and maybe you can enlighten Nigerians on what you think should be done. What role should Dangote play in ensuring that for the past 3 or 4 months, we've been behind them trying to ensure that the government serves them right. Now that
about sincerity on the part of government. I listened to Zach Adedeji, the chairman of FIRS. He was at the Senate Committee on Finance. I listened to him vividly, and he made a revelation. He said the cost of production of a barrel of crude oil in Nigeria today is $40. Our brand of crude oil, the Bonnet Light, is selling at $78.60 per barrel currently. The cost of refining a barrel of crude oil anywhere in the world is between $3 to $5. Cost of refining. If federal government decides to sell to Dangote at international price of $78 per barrel, and Dangote charges the maximum refining cost of $5 per barrel, that is $83 per barrel. That'll give you $83 per barrel. And if we use 1,600 Naira exchange rate to multiply $183, a barrel of crude oil contains 45% PMS. One barrel contains 45% PMS, 29% AGO. That's diesel. Then you have the other components that are used in petrochemical industries and resins. If you take out 45% being the component of PMS and multiply by the cost of refining at plus production and sell, total of $83, given the international oil market, I'm taking the best case, the worst case scenario, that Nigeria decides to sell to Dangote at international price of $78 per barrel. And Dangote charges the highest refining cost of $5 per barrel. That will give us $83. $83 times 1,600 naira exchange rate will give you 100, about 132,000. About 132,000 naira. Now, 45% of 132,000 naira will give you 159,000. In a barrel of crude oil, you have 159 liters of PMS. If you divide 59,000, that in a barrel of crude, if you divide 59,000, that's the 45% component of the cost. If you divide that 59,000 by 159 liters, you will get about 340 naira as the maximum price for PMS. If you now add a little other charges, all these little charges that MP and the regulatory authorities do, for goodness sake, we'll be paying below $400, 400 naira, not even 500. In the simple arithmetic, all we're asking for is transparency and sincerity on the part of government. But before now, why the Nigerian refineries were still functioning? Nigeria was dedicating about 440,000 barrels of crude production on daily basis for local consumption. The 444,000 were sent to the 4 refineries for refining. You don't price that at Platts. That's international price. It's like a local rice farmer who produces 20 bags of rice and decides to feed his children. He will bring out 1 bag. That 1 bag he's bringing out is not going to say a bag of rice now is 120,000 naira. Therefore, people in my family, you pay 120,000 naira to access 1 bag of rice. No. So, in any form, I have looked at it from all dimensions. If government is sincere, if they are honest, Nigerians will not be paying up to $400, up to 400 naira per liter of fuel. But I understand government desire to ramp up their revenue. Even if you do a certain percentage of $400 naira, assuming government is so in need of cash, they need to fund their extravagant lifestyle. Therefore, they need to tax Nigerians more. For goodness sake, 20% on 400 naira, 30% on 400 naira as additional cost can be acceptable. But not any way we're talking about 1,000 naira plus. It is criminal, it is unjust, it is wicked, it is unfair on the part of the citizens. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kali Domina. And from what you said, I can see you were mathematical with your answer. You provided data to support it. And you also, I was also taken aback when you said if a rice farmer cultivates rice and harvests rice, and he decides to give 1 bag to his family, he wouldn't be selling that 1 bag at the price at which he will sell it at the market. Now that got me thinking, what actually is the business relationship between the refineries that will be taking the 440,000 daily supply to local refineries? Government should be transparent. How much are they selling it to these refineries? That is, if they are selling it. And if they are not selling it, what are the conditions given for this? These are questions that we expect the federal government to come up with, NNPCL, federal government, whosoever is concerned, and the Minister of Petroleum, who also happens to be the president, to come up with. These are questions that Nigerians are asking. And just like you said, transparency. Transparency is the key word. Without transparency, people can speculate. Anything can be done once there's a veil over the truth of the matter. So, Mr. Gado,
Yes.
I would like to ask you, based on what you just said, what is your take in all this? Do you, because I saw you doing some calculations and you arrived at what you arrived at. As an economist, what do you think we need to do to bring down the price of this crude?
You see, I want to say my brother has done a very good calculation. I want to say this. Let me just add a little to what he said before I answer the question. If the government decided, or the NNPC or Dangote decided to say, okay, we are selling at 500 naira, it will not still be an issue. It will be an issue, but it will not be an extreme issue, because with this increase in fuel price has really dragged a lot of people down to poverty. People that are sitting at the age, they are not poor, they are not rich. Now they are all dragged to poverty. So the poverty rate has been increased in Nigeria. So, but to answer your question, you see, the major problem, the government is full of lip service. To be honest, he talked about sincerity. I was just shaking my head, because the policymaker, the leaders, they are not even ready to tell us the truth. Dangote is saying, the NNPC is saying they are buying from Dangote refinery at so price. Dangote said, no. It's not what we saw. It's not how we said. It's not the price. Now, who are we now going to believe? But one thing I discover with this is that when a capitalist, they want to exploit the masses, what they do is that they keep you in the dark, so that you don't even know what is going on. It's what they will bring out that they will give you and you will take. So the capitalists, monopolies, they are the price maker. They don't dispose, they don't want to tell you how much it costs them to produce. All they do is that they come out, they tell you, they begin to drive, they are acting. Me, as long as I'm concerned, Dangote, NNPC, federal government, they are all actors. So what I want to say is that if government is serious, we can diversify from PMS to CNG. Government talk about CNG so much. They distributed money to governors, 10 billion naira, for them to see to it that they bring up, or they go in, supply CNG buses and other transportation. Because you see, the cost of living is tied to transportation to some extent. Because when you look at transporting goods from one location to another, the transport costs play a key role. Are we together? So now, if government is really serious, try to ameliorate or try to cushion the effect of hardship in this country, I think they should take this CNG serious. The government should also be up and doing any money that comes in, utilize the money to be able to supply those CNG buses and all CNG Keke Marwa or Napep. People call it in Lagos Marwa. Us in the northern part, in Taraba and other places, we call it Keke Napep. So they should supply those CNG, make internal transportation cheaper, so that we can move around, do our business, transport goods and services around, and then it will reach those places. Now, if you look at, let us assume I'm a businessman, want to transport goods from here to Lagos. I'll also look at the transportation costs. I'm already discouraged. If I happen to transport it down to Lagos, you will find out that the price, I'll have to hack the price because I am in there for profit. And also, Dangote too is out for profit. But his transparency will help Nigerians to know whether our leaders have us at heart or they are there to just milk this country for their own selfish interest.
Uh, thank you very much. From what you said, is still transparency. Now the problem is the issue of the CNG.
Yes, sir.
The issue of the CNG. In the first place, this government is a part of the past government, and they must have had conversations. They belong to the same party. They must have had conversation over the removal of subsidy. And from all indications, they said there was no financial subsidy payment from June. So this present government knows that yes, when they come in, subsidy will no longer exist, and that is why I made the infamous or famous statement that subsidy is gone. And immediately made those statements, they began to talk about CNG and other alternative CNG buses. Now, 15 months down the line, there is no sign that there's no transparency around the CNG issue. And again, even if the CNG buses come and we begin to use compressed natural gas, will the same thing that happened to diesel, kerosene, PMS not happen to CNG? That is another question. The last time they said government distributed brought in 2,000 something CNG buses. Now, just some weeks before October 1st, when the air was going about with another protest was coming on, they decided to share those buses to NLC and NANS. I just saw that this is not done in sincerity. Why sharing CNG buses to NLC and NANS? Why not share it to all the local 774 local government, 2 to each local government or 3 to each local government? These are some of the things that show that insincerity and lack of transparency is a problem. So how do you think, if they don't handle the issue of PMS well, they will handle the issue of CNG well? As an economist, do you think this will work out at the end of the day?
Yes, you see, the issue with Nigeria is that I must be frank to you today. As an individual, this is my view. I have lost confidence in, in our political leaders over the years. They are not telling us. They will say A and they will do B. They will say B and do C. So to me, it is confusing when somebody will come back out and tell you that the market forces will take its course. The market forces are just demand and supply. A situation whereby the demand is higher than supply, which forces is going to play? Because the supply is not there, the demand will always be higher. And if the demand is higher, you expect inflation. And that is what we're experiencing in the economy. So you see, the issue of CNG, one, there's no facility for the CNG anywhere.
Yes.
You gave the governors 10 billion to buy CNG buses. Now the question is, if they bought the CNG buses, where are the facilities? Is there any facility site in Taraba State or in Jalingo that you tell me that if they want to have exhaust, they will go and refill? There's not any station there. There's not any provision. So all these things are just trying to deceive Nigerians. You know, over time, Nigerians will get over it and let go. And the politicians, the leaders, those political leaders, does what they want to do and move ahead. Nothing happens. So over time, they know how to dribble the Nigerians. So they are dribbling us now. Because first and foremost, you talk about CNG, you must make provision for the facilities, the stations where people will go and take the CNG. If you be able to afford the CNG, keke, napep, or the bus, or whatever, you will be able to know where to go and fuel it. So first and foremost, you make provision in 774 local governments. before you talk about supplying the CNG buses. So all this thing, to me, as my brother said earlier, in fact, we wrap this to insincerity, and also the leaders are not transparent in anything they do to Nigeria. So I want me as a person that I'm sitting in this studio with you today, I've lost confidence in our leaders. And I must say, I lost confidence in the political system in this country.
Mr. Kali, I believe you heard what he said. I believe you heard what he said. Now,
Yes.
I will say, Mr. Kali, this statement he made that he has lost confidence in the political class, and in a way, in the business class. You are a chartered banker, so I can say you belong to the business elite, and you are also a former. You once contested you also belong to the political class or the political elite. Now, from your own point of view as an insider in all this, what do we need to do as Nigerians to ensure that we get the best of governance? Because everything we talk about, from the exchange rates to the insecurity to cost of PMS, it still boils down to good governance. So how do you think we can achieve this good? Without good governance, no policy will work. So Mr. Kali, what do you think we need to do to achieve this good governance? In 2-3 minutes, I would like to hear you speak on this.
Thank you, Mr. Abraham. Good governance is not a desert mirage. It is not unattainable goal. I will give you a simple illustration. 2 days ago, I was at one 5-star hotel in Victoria Island. A federal ministry held a training program in that hotel. A 5-star hotel. A room in that 5-star hotel, they paid about 360,000 thereabout per night for their staff, taken from all over the country. A federal ministry. A staff that spent 4 days there, cost of accommodation and feeding is over 1.6 million for 4 days program. And asked me, what is the value addition from that training to the staff? This is one federal ministry. Count how many ministries we have in Nigeria. Count how many MDAs we have in the country. This is their pattern of waste and profligacy. Cost of training that are whether relevant or irrelevant, just an avenue to spend money. If you spend that money improving the welfare of that staff, because some of the civil servants are still complaining that their salary cannot take them home. But instead of paying them a reasonable salary that can feed their families, government will budget on irrelevancies. Overhead cost in parastatals is more than 60%. Cost of overhead. Training, stationery is more than 60% in the parastatals and agencies of government. Where does it start from? My people have an adage. They say a fish starts to rot from the head. Once the head is rotten, the fish is rotten. It cascades down. It is not a bottom-top approach. It's a top-down. It must start from the head. We must have a leader that is committed to shrinking the cost of governance. I've just given you a small example. Traveling in the ministries and agents of government, cost of traveling. If you see how much MDA spent on travel in an era of technology where people can stay in their offices and do off-site inspection and supervision of projects across the country, they still embark on travel and they claim extra codes, claim overnight allowance, claim all sorts of off-duty allowance, just because there is money to be spent. So, unless we have a leader who is sincere and is committed to putting down the cost of governance from his office, and it will cascade down to the ministries, agencies, and departments of government. Unless we have such a leader, look at the National Assembly. I listened to that Zakadej again. By next year, they are budgeting that FRS will generate 19 trillion in revenue. That's the budget, that's the target for next year, 2025. You generate 19 trillion from FRS alone. Then other revenue sources of government. You will be talking of a budget of over 30 trillion by next year. Quote me. By next 2025, their budget is going to be over 30 trillion. And what will it be spent on? Is this irrelevancies? Training here, traveling here, hotel accommodation there, and all whatnot. That do not add value to people's life, do not add value to good governance, do not add value to infrastructure. And when we talk of infrastructure, it's not just roads. Thank you.
Thank you. We are about to go for a short break now. Sorry for cutting short your talk. We'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we will continue this discussion. So this is still as News Lectures on Ask TV. We are going for a short break, and when we come back, the discussion will continue, and we will try to look at more perspective that concerning this issue. Stay tuned to Ask TV. Welcome back to News Nexus on Aske TV. I remain your host, Maina, Joda, and we are transmitting live from Jalingo, Taraba State. And we're discussing issue of the recent hike in PMS price, and through that we drifted into good governance. And I would like us to change gear a little bit based on the discussions we've been having. We see that the solution to all this is good governance. And for the past 10 years thereabouts, 9.5 years thereabouts, we've been going through a process with a party that came with change. And it seems, yes, things have changed. We can't say things haven't changed. Things have changed. But, well, for some, they said, the majority, they said it has changed for worse, rather than it changing for better. Now, to change this change, you need serious opposition. For us to bring, just like in football, when there's no competition, the leader tends to relax. And I see that in the present day Nigeria, the opposition who are supposed to keep the ruling party on their toes are in disarray. The PDP has been having issues of leaders, factions, and even yesterday there are 2 court cases, judgments, one suspending the chairman and the other one restating the chairman or saying yes, he should hold on to his seat. Now, if the PDP, which is the largest opposition party, is going through this disarray, how will it put together its forces to ensure that, yes, they put the ruling party on their toes? That is one. Then we have the new party on the block, which is led by, through the influence of Mr. Peter Obi, that was beginning to show signs that, yes, this is a viable opposition. But immediately the election ended, we began to hear issues about leadership in the party. As it is, they are in the area of leadership, they are also in comatose. Now, does this mean that come 2027, there will be no opposition to this? Is this not a reflection of the fact that they are not really different from the ruling party? Because if you cannot handle your party, can Nigerians trust you enough to hand over the nations to you? Mr. Kali, what is your take on this? With the way the opposition is in disarray, is there any glimmer of hope for 2027? That is my question.
Yes, there's a glimmer of hope. I am not losing faith and hope in the sustenance and sustainability of democracy in Nigeria. And democracy without a viral opposition is simply a dictatorship. If you check some African countries like Cameroon, a few others, where a single person or a single party has dominated the political space, they have not fared better. Unfortunately, Nigeria is tending towards that, towards a one-party state. And that is my fear, but I don't lose hope. But Nigeria is tending towards a one-party state. And why I'm making this statement, because President Tinubu was governor in Lagos for 8 years. And after him, he made sure that opposition parties in Lagos State never survived. PDP in Lagos State is dead. And no other party has ever tested power in Lagos State 25 years down of democracy. He is at the national level as president. And the People's Democratic Party, that used to be the that's supposed to be the main opposition party, is now in crisis. You have seen what Wike, a supposedly PDP member, is doing. One leg in APC, one leg in PDP. And he is serving directly under President Tinubu. In Labour Party, from nowhere, you saw what one Lamida Papa came up to do, trying to force himself as a leader in the party. He has fizzled out, and then Gilas Abure and his own caucus are trying to perpetuate themselves in power in the party also, even when the party constitution says his tenure has ended. And then you have the court, unfortunately, telling a political party not to remove their chairman by any means until December 2025. A court in Nigeria is making that ruling. I really have my fears, but I don't lose hope in the sustenance of democracy. And it will not augur well, both for APC as a party, both for PDP, both for President Tinubu himself as an individual, if they muzzle opposition and make opposition comatose, such that they perpetuate themselves in power. PDP tried to do it when the former national chairman in those days said that the PDP will rule for 60 years. And as God will have it, that didn't come to pass. We also believe that by God's divine intervention, any plan of APC as a party to subjugate opposition and perpetuate themselves in power, even with all their crass incompetence and failure, it will not work. It will not come to pass. It's my faith. Thank you.
That is, when you refer back to when the former chairman of PDP said they will rule for 60 years, I think it's a refreshing thought to me, because it now shows that no matter what you think, at a point in time, the people will get tired. As long as you're not doing the right thing, even if you're doing the right thing, there's always room for change. There's always room for people to say, yes, we want to try the other option. But at the rate at which things is going, Mr. Taminu, do you think the opposition will be prepared enough? Because it is one thing for Nigerians to say, okay, we want a breath of fresh air. It is another thing for people to be able to present themselves to Nigeria, the Nigerians, and say, we are the breath of fresh air. Because if at the end of the day, we say we want a breath of fresh air, and what you are presenting to us is not fresh air, Nigerians will say, okay, let us remain where we are, or we will be divided. At the end of the day, the one with the highest structure, as a structure, political structure, as we call it, we win the election. So what do you think we need to do, the political parties need to do between now and 2026, not 2027, to change this narrative?
Well, in terms of politics, I always say this wherever I go to, even in sitting with friends and we discuss. I told them, I said, an average politician in this country is a selfish being. They always go there for their own interests, or they are not going there for the masses. Why do I say that? How do you explain the situation whereby a political party will come in, make a serious way, win a governorship seat, senatorial seat, and House of Rep and other position, and then suddenly we'll go into fighting over leadership? The Labour Party did not meet Peter Obi. Peter Obi met Labour Party through his own influence. So because of that influence that he who and Nigerians look at him as a messiah, rushing over him. So people believe the party is strong. So they are now struggling for leadership. What we need to do is that the politicians need to restructure their mindset first. Secondly, they need to come together, throw away their selfish interests. Why am I saying this? Because if people say you're not a good leader, for example, the case of Damoko, The party say you're not doing well. Please, stay aside. Let somebody try to. You say, no, no, no. You go to court, you want to retain the power. It means you're not there for the people. You're not there to bring that opposition that people are yearning for. You are there for your own self. Why do you want to hold on to power? Let us always let the politicians, the political leaders believe that they are there for the people. If the people say they are dissatisfied, honorably resign. I have not seen where a leader in this country or political leader or any office holder that people are saying you're not doing well, say for this reason, I have resigned. It has never happened. So let us restructure our mind and the vision. Are you coming for people or you are coming for yourself? Because for us to talk about what to do is first and foremost is a kind of self readjustment, self structure. You structure yourself, your mind, that look, I am coming to serve people. Whenever people say I am not doing well, I should be able to give way for other people to come in. Coming to issue of what Wike is doing, me, I believe totally that is a political game. They are playing a game, try to muzzle out, as my brother said, muzzle out the other opposition, more especially the problem of APC is PDP and the Labour Party. If they can muzzle them, probably 2027, we are going towards one party system in Nigeria. And that will not be good for this country. As I said earlier, it will not be good for us. We need that opposition to put the government on its own toes so that if they are criticizing government, whether people talk about constructive, destructive criticism, me, I don't believe in anything destructive or constructive. Criticism is criticism. Depends on how the person put it. So whenever you come on board, you say, the criticism is destructive. I don't know which one is destructive and which one is constructive. But criticism is criticism. So let the politician or the opposition regroup. If those parties are hijacked by others, they have power. APC was a combination of AD, ACN, and other party, AD and other that form the APC. They can still come, those that have black minds, come together, sit down and form a brand new party and then restructure and give it to Nigerians. And I believe they will contend very well in 2027.
Thank you very much. As we all know, time waits for nobody. We are almost coming to the end of today's program. And I know that since we've gone this far, we have a word or two to say to our viewers. And I believe just the two of you, one of these Saturdays, you are still going to come back to this studio for us to continue the discussion or any other discussion, because in Nigeria it is 1 week, one trouble. And we might come next time and what we're discussing and may not even matter again because something else might have come up. So, Mr. Kali, I would like to hear in 30 seconds, what are your final thoughts, your message to Nigerians?
Yeah. My message to Nigerians is very simple. We should not sit back and swallow line and sinker whatever decision government throws at us. We are citizens of the country, and those in power, those who elected, and those that are appointed into office do not have a greater stake in Nigeria than we, the ordinary citizens. Therefore, it behoves on us to hold government accountable, to hold those in offices, in public offices, accountable, to challenge their decisions, to question their rationale. And government as an entity owes us that duty to provide clarifications when we ask questions. They should not just keep quiet. President Tinubu had just moved from London to France. And I said, it was like Nehru. who fiddled while Rome burned. He should come back to Nigeria and face Nigerians and answer questions from Nigerians. For goodness sake, we should not be paying 1,000 plus for a liter of petrol that is being refined in Lagos. Petrol, crude oil that is produced in Nigeria, refined in Nigeria, and we're paying 1,000 plus. It is insensitive on the part of government. They should listen to us. They should not wait until Nigerians move to the streets to begin to destroy things. I'm not calling for that, but government should be responsible and address the concerns of Nigerians. They should not capitalize on the fact that majority of the voters in the north are illiterates. No, those of us who are enlightened that can question them, they should listen to us and provide answers to the questions we're asking. We're not asking stupid questions. We're asking legitimate questions. Thank you.
Well, I don't have much to say. I want to say that as a person, I have confidence in Nigerians that will come out strong as a country. And any other person that is listening to me out there should not give up in Nigerian state. And us in Taraba state, we're not giving up in our own state. We'll continue to contribute our quota to the development of this state as a Taraba and also to Nigeria as a country. And me, I want to also say that the leaders should know that whatever you are doing, you will account for it, either here or hereafter. All of us are religious people. Some of us are Christian, some of us are Muslim, and even pagans. We believe in one God, and we should be transparent. As a leader, I am also a leader. Even in my family, I should be transparent, so that we'll have a society whereby everybody needs and wants and desire will be met, and all of us will be happy. And I want to say that the insecurity is growing faster. It's not because of anything, hardship. We have turned this country to survival of the fittest. So definitely we'll see more troubles if government will not address the hunger in people's stomach. It will be difficult for us to even go to our farm and to also do things. You sleep one eye open because you don't know what will happen next. So I want us as people to know that we have someone to account for. When you pack 50 billion, 100 billion, what will you do with it? You will just keep the money, buy cars, travel abroad. What will you eat with 50 billion, 100 billion? It's uncalled for. If the society is balanced, even if you have 50,000 in your account, you will enjoy it. Take down to the history we are told, 70s, 60s. People will tell you that they go to school, they were eating meat and all that. So where are those things? And those people that enjoy this country are the ones that are siphoning money, turn politics to become a lucrative business that people are running into. So please, let us make politics affordable for people, credible people that will come in. As I'm sitting here, I don't have 200,000 to buy from to contest. I may have very beautiful or good idea, but I cannot be able to contribute to this country, to the economy and political world of this country, because the politics is expensive. So let us make sure that we make politics affordable for people that have what it takes to come in and contribute to the development of the country and even the states. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And as we see the two analysts, their conclusion is that there's hope for Nigeria and for Nigerians, but we need to do the right thing for us to attain this hope in the nearest future. So we'll be leaving this, ending this program on a light note, because they say all work and no play make Jack a dog there. We've been talking about things that have not been making us happy. But yesterday, the Super Eagles of Nigeria made us happy by defeating Libya by 1-0. The goal came in the second half. So that shows that, yes, despite all, we still have something to cheer about. I believe that Mr. Kali You're happy about that? Mr. Tamil Ugadu, you're happy about that?
Watched the match yesterday.
To me, is a birthday gift for me because tomorrow is my birthday.
Today is your birthday.
Tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday to you, Mr. Kali.
Yeah, tomorrow, 13th October.
Oh, unfortunately, I'm not in Lagos, I'm in Jalingo. I will have come over at least eat something that will last me for a week because that is what we do in Nigeria now.
Okay.
It's a pleasure having you all on this show today.
Thank you,
Definitely,
sir.
we'll come back and maybe on an extended version with more people in the house so that we can really discuss this thing. And I like the way we, from different parts of the country, and we're having the same view of Nigeria. So that shows that there's no division in this country. All the division is man-made. There's no ethnic division anywhere. The problem is political and economical. As long as we can solve this political and economic problem, Nigerians are one. And on this note, I say thank you, everyone, for joining us on
Thank you.
TV for News.
Regards to my brother in the studio.
We will be here again Saturday, 10 to 11 on this very station. I remain yours, Abraham and Joda. Have a wonderful weekend.